Welcome everyone. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a simple trading strategy that I used in order to 10x my trading account. So if I go to portfolio here and then we go on the 3-month time frame, we can see that I started off with $399.44 and I ran that all the way up to about 5k here, and it's currently sitting at 4.2k. So that represents over a 10x return. And if I go to transfers and rewards and go to deposits, we can see that I only ever deposited $400 into this account. So now that I've shown you that I 10x my account, I'll get into the strategy that I use that anyone can use in order to do a similar thing. And all you need is a TradingView account. So I'm here on TradingView, and I'm going to show you the strategy that I used, but I just want to say first that a lot of people don't think technical analysis or stuff like that actually works, but I think the way that I'm doing it is something that everyone can get into, and it's quite easy to do, and I'll reveal my strategy today. So before I go into all the trades that I did, what I think is very important is your coin selection. So when choosing these coins to trade, what I went for was recent listings, not only on Aevo, but like say Binance, for example. A lot of these tokens that are newer, they have a greater chance to pump, and that's because they don't have a legion of bag holders who will be suppressing every pump in order to recoup their losses. So that's one thing that I took into strong consideration, was how new is this token, and I mainly traded tokens that were less than a year old. Another consideration that I had was momentum. If the token has done really well in like the past 30 days, then that's something that I want to be in. And typically for a token to do 1000% return in 2 months, it needs to do a 100% return in like a couple of weeks. And that's momentum that I want to get on board of. And so I don't need to catch the entire 1000% return, but as long as I can catch like most of the move, that's okay for me. So the first coin that really boosted my portfolio there was Celestia, and the ticker is TIA. And so my strategy was to buy any breakouts on these tokens. And so what I do, I take the most recent closing high and then draw a line on it like so. And then I would have a buy order set up in place so that I would buy this token as soon as it went past that line. And so I entered Celestia on the 9th of November. So from then it went up about 187% at its top, but I didn't sell it at its top. My strategy for getting out of a token is that if no new closing highs are established within 3 days, to me, the momentum has stopped and I need to get out of that trade immediately. So I sold on this third day here at a 97.17% gain. I actually made more money than that because I used 2x leverage. So I almost 4x'd my account purely off this Celestia trade. Now that's not something that I would recommend doing. It's something that I just did at the time because I felt that we were in the midst of a bull market and I really had to just crank up the leverage here and just get as much as I could as soon as possible. So that was my first trade. And then once I got out of that trade, I drew another line here for the potential Celestia breakout, and I put in another stop order so that when the price of Celestia now goes past $7.139, I would get in again. And I did on the 1st of December. And as we can see here, the trade went really well. Celestia proceeded to go a lot higher from there. And then again, once there were no new established closing highs for 3 days, I got out of that trade. So I sold at roughly $9.2894 on Celestia. So I was out of that trade again. And then what I did, I drew a new line like that. And then I put in another buy order for when Celestia crossed $10.17. And it did on the 9th of December. And then what I also do is have a stop loss. So if the position goes against me by 10% after I initially enter, I exit that trade. And that happened when I bought Celestia. So as we can see here, we did have a 10% drawdown and I got out of that trade. But then I put in another buy order so that when Celestia eventually went across the $10.17 mark, I was in that trade again, ridden it all the way to here. Now here's another trade that I did on Say. So this is what it looked like at the time of me actually going about and trading this. So I knew that this was a new token and this might do well in a new bull market. As I said before, there weren't a legion of bag holders looking to suppress any sort of price increase. So I drew a line here, and then as we broke out of that range, I bought at 0.167, and then it turned against me. And then we drew down here. I didn't have a sell order here, so I think I was down over 10%, but I stayed in that position. I think I was just lazy at the time, and I was like, you know what, I think this will bounce back. Don't do that. Always be disciplined with your stop losses. And then we did bounce back, and then from that trade, I was able to sell at a 41% gain. And the last trade I wanted to go over today, just to really hammer this home, was NTRN. So NTRN, again, was a recent listing on Binance. It was only been recently listed since the 14th of November. It's a new coin. And so I decided that I wanted to trade this whenever it broke out of this price range. So I established that price range at 0.7346, and then it broke out. The trade has gone well. And for right now, we're up about 55.8% on that trade. And we can see that I'm still in that trade currently, and I'm up 1.1k on that trade. As you can see here, my entry price and my last Celestia buy as well. And so just to go back to these charts, I know that I'm using bars instead of candles, and I just want to say that a lot of the trading and investing books that I've read are from the 90s, from American traders at that point, and they all used bars. So I'm familiar with bars, and it makes more sense to me to trade with bars, and that's why I'm using them. And if you wanted to get started with Aevo, I have a link in the description down below that will give you 10% off on fees, as well as $25 credited to your trading account for deposits over $100. And so last thing to note on this video is that I did use a lot of leverage. So these results will probably vary depending on how much leverage you're using. And so if you're not using any leverage at all, don't expect to get these sort of returns if you're employing a similar trading strategy. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.